Please find your seats. We're going to go ahead and get started. All right, Sean, you ready? Okay. I'd like to go ahead and call this meeting to order at 7:45, Wendy. I'd like to welcome everyone to the 111th annual meeting of the St. Petersburg Yacht Club. It's a little bit different this year. It's been a little bit of a different year. So there are, for the folks that are on the live feed, we have some socially distant chairs set up here in the ballroom. Everyone's behaving very well. And we also have the other side, it's being a live feed out to anybody that wants to participate. So there's two ways to participate. Okay. As is tradition in this club, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag is over here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The next thing on the agenda is invocation, and that's going to be done by Vice Commodore for a few more minutes, Dr. David Mendelblatt.
Thank you, Commodore. In these uncertain times, let us give thanks for the blessings we have and be mindful of those who are suffering. May we have the wisdom to do what's right, to protect ourselves and our loved ones. May we act in the best interest of our community, our club, and our country. May we have the compassion and kindness to help those in need, and may all our endeavors bring us closer to the people we love. Amen.
Thank you for that. At this point in the agenda, in a typical year, we've got all of our junior sailors in the room. We could not ask them to join us this year, but I would like to recognize the chair of junior activities, Grant DeMaw.
Thank you, Commodore. Yes, it's unfortunate we couldn't have the kids here with us this year. It's so much more fun to give this presentation with the inspiration for the program right here, sharing the podium with me. But I would like to take this opportunity to recognize the parents of the junior sailors. So other than David Mendelblatt, are there any other parents of junior sailors here? Thank you. So I wanted to say thank you for, yes, in the back. I want to say thank you for allowing our coaching staff to spend time with your kids. I know that it's quite a burden. There's a bit of financial burden there, and there's a lot of your time that's involved, both driving back and forth to regattas, wear and tear on your vehicles, towing the coach boats and so forth. So I want to recognize that and say thank you very much for allowing your kids to spend time in the program and continuing to continue that heritage of our great club here. So our sailing team had a fantastic year with top results at the race course all over the USA. And of course, there were record numbers at the sailing camp this summer also. Of course, the year here was, the summer was filled with uncertainty, but we actually surprisingly had the biggest summer camp participation in the club's history. 576 kids participated. Yeah, wow. at the Harbor Mice, the Learn to Sail and Intro to Race classes, and we also had a fishing camp up at the Snell Isle Center. The success of the summer camp resulted in a 12-sailor green fleet, as well as full Harbor Mice classes, and these are a primary source to bring new, younger kids into the program. So that's an indication of how our future health of the program, having this large group of new kids come up through the ranks. The racing team, unfortunately, there was a 2-month break in the regatta schedule at the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. So the team members took full advantage of that time to focus on fitness and learning. The coaching staff provided team members with weekly exercise routine to keep them in shape, as well as twice weekly articles to help them with decision making on the race course. The team continues to have solid results with wins at the Laser Atlantic Coast and Laser Gulf Coast Championships, as well as podium finishes at the Orange Bowl Regatta in Miami. Our laser sailors are consistently at the top of the leaderboard in all major U.S. events, and our Opti Red, White, and Blue sailors continue to climb the ranks, qualifying to represent USA at events such as the Opti South American Championships. We had 3 of our distinguished high school sailors graduate this past year who will be competing at the top ranks of college sailing. Emma Shakespeare and Hannah Marciano are now part of the local University of South Florida team, and Heather Kearns is up at Hobart and William Smith College in New York. In closing, I'd like to recognize our coaching staff. None of this could have happened without the dedication of the many fine coaches that we have at the Sailing Center working with the kids, and of course the leadership that's provided by head coach Todd Feddersen. Respectfully submitted.
At this point, I would entertain a motion to not read the minutes from last year's annual meeting. Mr. Waters?
Good evening, everyone. I don't need a mic. I'd like to make a motion to waive the reading of the minutes from the 2019 annual meeting. Second.
Take your pick, Wendy. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you for that. I didn't even bring them. I would like to acknowledge the past Commodores that we have in the room, and to the best of my knowledge, it's 2. If there's more, please let me know. Past Commodore Dr. Frank Mendelblatt, and his wife Kathy. Please stand. There you go. Thank you, thank you. We also have past Commodore Skip Frazier. And do we have any widows of past Commodores in the room? I didn't see any on the list. Okay, I don't want to miss you. I promise you this annual meeting is going to be quick. I meant to say that at the beginning, but I can say it now. In an effort to streamline the meeting, as you were coming in on the right, are all the executive committee reports. So we're not giving, I'm going to only give one report, and it only has 3 topics. So, but I want you to have those final reports from all of the executive committee's members. Okay. Now, I'd like to recognize the current members of the executive committee. I know there's not going to be a lot of them here in the room, but I do want to recognize the ones that are here. Please come up. Due to the COVID-19 rules, we will not be shaking hands, but please come up and pick up your certificate if you're here. Jody Abrams, Kathy Ahern, Wayne Andrews, Willie Bain, Matt Bryant, Joe DeVito, Is Joe, yes. Jerry Douglas. Grant Dumas. Joe Frohock. I know Joe's not here. Fred Hyam. I haven't seen Fred. Sandra McNeil. Donna Sue Marks. George Pennington. Come on up, George. Selga Sachs. Wendy Stocky. And Nancy Vildebel. I'd like to thank every one of you for your service this year. We're also going to go ahead and recognize the board members for this year. First one you might know, David. Dr. David Mendelblatt. That's for you.
I'm not the first one, you're the first one.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm on the board too.
Commodore Blacker?
Thank you. My name was left off the list, so. Rear Commodore, Bill Waters. Treasurer, Brian Smith. Secretary, Wendy Stocky. Chris Bergstrom. Jerry Douglas again, Grant Dumas again. Chris Frazier. Come on up, Chris. Frank Fraze. Mike Funch, I haven't seen Funch. Veronica Hickey. George Pennington. Are you keeping up, Dave? Jeannie O'Grady. Bert Rachel. If you're a board member and you're in the room, please stay. They want to get a photo. Sean, is somebody going to take the photo? No? Okay, have a seat then. Where was I? Selga Sachs, yes. Chad Shakespeare. Bill Waters II. And past Commodore Jim Byrne. Hopefully Jim is on the live feed. Hey, Jim.
You bounce me. You bounce me.
Here, Bert. You can have them on.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You did everything you could.
I'm going to miss you, Bert. For the members whose terms have expired, on behalf of the club, we will have I think it's a plaque or some recognition for your service. And I would like to personally thank each and every one of you. So, now we are on old business. Seeing none, we will move on. And I will give you a brief state of the club. I will try and be very brief. I gave a similar speech, real similar, to the Salty Sisters annual meeting last week, and I was telling them that when you become past Commodore, which is going to be minutes, you get a new member number, okay? And it starts with PC for past Commodore, and then it's the year that you started your term. So I will be PC 19. But I was telling the Salty Sisters, I think I'm going to be better recognized as PC COVID-19. So I'm going to focus real quick on three areas: membership, capital projects, and then a quick thing on finance, and I'm not going to use a whole bunch of numbers. Okay? I also want to give you a little sense of what it felt like this year. It was very atypical and different, and for all of the people that put in the extra effort, I want to take just a few minutes and give you a sense of what it was like. So, well, we started out pretty normal. We had a good annual meeting, and we were in the middle of a campaign for the referendum for the sailing center. I was way more nervous than anybody else was about that, but I had spent 3 years. We were waiting for that election. That was no accident. We wanted an election that had low turnout. And so, as it turns out, I didn't need to be quite so nervous because we got 84% of the vote. So I was very, very proud of that. And yes, it's a big deal for the club. We had a 5-year lease we were trying to operate the sailing center on. Our master plans for events goes out longer than that. So it's a very difficult situation. I also wanted to give you a quick update on that. The lease is already being worked on. We have seen the first draft of the lease, the first version of the lease, and it has already gone through our legal counsel, Joe DeVito, has already reviewed it, and it's ready to go back, if it hasn't already, to the city. I'm sure there will be a couple rounds of back and forth, and then I'm confident that we got a great team on our side working with that, and we'll have a 20-year lease for the sailing center. So we also started out financially very strong. We had a good October, November, December, very, very good numbers. We were making budget each month, and we had a good holiday season. Okay, all the tremendous holiday traditions were honored. It was a great season. And then March came around. And COVID-19 impacted our world in a very, very big way. First thing we did was, instead of having board meetings once a month, we doubled them up and had it twice a month. In the beginning of this thing, it was very dynamic. We also had more frequent flag meetings, and we told the general manager that the flag officers were going to work closely with them, that this whole thing was unprecedented, and there's no playbook, and we would get through it with him. And that's exactly what we did. The first board meeting, I remember, they were very clear. They said, take care of the employees. So we absolutely did that. We were able to provide supplemental income and paid health insurance to all of our full-time employees while our business was down. We also created several work streams so that anybody that wasn't working because we didn't have the members coming in could continue to work. It was a great thing. The other thing we did was we had Dr. Sennett in, who's an infectious disease doctor in the area, and brought him in to see how our procedures were for reopening the club. We never really closed the club because Mark shifted resources over to the curbside service, which actually was very, very successful. And then after that, I established the Infectious Disease Control Committee, which is still in place today. And we were able to reopen the club, the dining area, in full compliance with all federal, state, county, and city ordinances. And we have those in place still today, because we have to. The most strict ones come from an emergency order at the county level. That's the one that still requires you to wear a mask, socially distant, and limits things like standing at a bar and getting a drink, all those kind of things. Those are still in place from the county. Okay, membership. Now I'm getting to the three things. So, first of all, membership is so important to the club. I think it's the most important thing because it drives everything. The budget, you can't do the budget until you forecast membership. Well, forecasting membership this year was not an easy job. With all that was going on, we didn't know if we were going to be challenged there. Well, we knew we were going to be challenged. We didn't know how much. Okay, so let me give you some numbers. We ended the year at 1,959 members. Now, what does that mean? We were down 9 members from last year. That's it, 9. Which is up 18 members from what we had in our budget. That's the original budget. So when we started looking at the impacts of COVID-19, we casted a new number, and we're 27 better than that number. So we knew membership was going to be a challenge. We addressed it, and I think we're sitting in a very, very good place. We also deployed a system, a prospective member CRM tracking system that has proved to be very, very helpful in driving the whole process of getting the members. All right, capital projects, real quick. After March, and we knew we weren't serving a lot of meals inside, we went into project mode. Okay, so let me just read. First of all, we fully funded all of our capital reserves. Even though there was some uncertain times with financials, there wasn't. We were just expecting there to be all the time. They kept getting stronger and stronger. But what that capital reserves are like savings accounts for things like replacement of the main docks sometimes. So you fund them every year. Fully funded them this year. Quick list of projects, and then I'll close. Deep cleaning of the club, painting of the bakery, sailing center, landscaping to main club, new grease trap and refrigeration for Pasta Grill, a refresh of the regatta room, and replacing AC for the quarterdeck. There's 2 other things. Out at Pasta Grill, we're just about to finish the replacement of the docks out there, as well as those of you that have been out there. I wrote a bathroom refresh. It's a lot more than that. It's absolutely stunning. So please take a look at that. Financials. Last one. First of all, I hope you noticed that in the FY 2021 budget, it was approved with a 0% increase in member dues. I hope you all saw that. We weren't sure we could do that. In fact, we went back and forth because we didn't know where our financials were going to be. So when I talk finance, I'm just going to talk 3 things: the revenue side, the expense side, and then the net income is when you balance those. Okay? I think this is going to surprise you. On the revenue side, we missed budget, the original budget for the year, by only 8%. 8%. So that means we got 92% of our budget that was in the original budget. And I was pretty shocked at that. Actually, the sailing center, Snell Isle, the main docks, and junior activities beat budget on the revenue side. So food and beverage was down 25%, but those other things were up. So net 8% down. On the expense side, due to very good management by our general manager and his lieutenants and these people you see sitting up here, expenses were down 12%. So we were 8% short on revenue, 12% lower. So as you could imagine, our net income, when you balance the 2, beat budget. We were budgeted to have a small loss, and actually we had a small net income when all was said and done. Grant mentioned, but I want to mention too, I was really saddened in the spring when we were planning the summer camp. I served 3 years as the junior activity chair and 3 years as the sailing center chair, and I thought, oh great, on my watch we're not going to be able to have the summer camp. But that was not the case. They worked really hard in defining safety procedures and executing those. And as Grant said, we had the largest summer camp we've ever had at 576 kids. So I was thrilled about that. To wrap up, I would like to thank my fellow flag officers, Commodore Mendelblatt, Commodore Waters, Brian Smith, and Mark Bradens. We had to reinvent the way we did everything this year, and I think I'm proud of the job that everybody has done. Very lastly, it's been an honor to be your Commodore. So, with that, here's the reason you're here, not to listen to me. I'm going to announce the election results. And I do not believe these are in any particular order. So there are 5 active members and 1 intermediate. Just going to read down the list. Jody Abrams, congratulations. Fred Bickley Jr., congratulations. Scott Boyle, congrats. Mary Hacker, congratulations. Somebody named Chad Shakespeare, congratulations. 1 intermediate, Bill Waters II, congratulations. So those of you that did not make it this year, it usually takes a couple of tries. So I thank you for running, and invite you to please try again next year. Seeing no more business on the agenda, this meeting is adjourned. One last thing. I would invite the current board members and the new board members to all meet in 15 minutes the ones that are here. If you're a board member and you're not here, you don't have to. There's a Zoom meeting that you can participate in the board meeting with. But we'll be meeting in the waterfront room in 15 minutes. Thank you all.